Hi, my name is Gabrielle Kalea Paoli. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Central Utah, and I will be attending Southern Virginia University in the fall. Now, as a college student, I have a hard time making my dollar stretch and saving money and just managing money in general. So I thought I would share tips I use to help me save my money. Tip number 1, budget. And don't budget in your head, budget in a book. A lot of you people are probably saying, I can budget in my head, college students don't need a budget, they don't have much income, they don't have much expenses. That's a load of bull. Having a system and writing it down helps you save money because if you keep it in your head, you're likely to forget it and you're less likely to follow with it. So my tip for you is keep a budget book, find a system that works. I found a budget printout right here. I found it off of Pinterest for free and I printed it out, and my system is I keep a blank page next to it, next to this lovely printout, and I make a rough draft before I get paid of what my expenses are, and then I use the printout as a final draft to kind of keep it as an official record of what got paid when and where it got paid to. Keep a budget, guys. It's so helpful and it saves you so much money. Okay, tip number 2 is use a file folder and cache. This kind of goes with tip number 1, but I felt like it was important enough it needed its own section. So my advice to you would be to keep a file folder that you fill with cash and use it when you purchase things. Try and use cash as much as possible because using debit cards and credit cards allows you to go over spending too much and you don't really know how much you have. So keep a file system of what money needs to be paid where or where you're going to spend it at, and use cash. It saves me so much money because it allows me to stay on track and it keeps me from going over on my spend. Okay, tip number 3 is keep your change in your tips. I work at a fast food industry and I get a lot of tips. Usually it's in pennies and it's like less than $1, but I find that it adds up. So what I do is about once a week I take it into the bank and I get between $5 and $10 in cash. And then what I do with that money is I use it for spending money. So it makes it easier because I don't have to worry about budgeting spending money, and it's nice because I am able to have some fun money in college and I'm able to have some money to play around with, but it's not coming out of my income. It's just coming out of change, and that's it. Tip number 4 is make bank CDs your friend. A bank CD is a bank certificate of deposit where you promise the bank you're going to put X amount of dollars into the bank and you're not going to touch it for X amount of time. In exchange, you get a higher interest rate on that money when it's time to pull out of the CD. So, compared to a savings account, you make quite a bit more money. So this is great if you have scholarship money you're saving or if you have money that you're putting away for something that you won't need for at least 90 days. And it's also great because you will be fined if you pull that money out before the agreed time. So, this will prevent you from spending that money on something you shouldn't, because if you pull it out, you lose money. Make them your friend because they're great at helping you save your money. I love them a lot because I had some private scholarships I applied for and I had all the scholarship money and I was able to put it away, not be able to touch it, and get interest money on it. So, tip number 5 is use restaurant rewards programs. So, as a college student, you don't really get a chance to eat out. I don't eat out a lot, but when I do, I make sure I eat out at a restaurant that I have a rewards program or point system with, so that when I do eat out, I can get points for those purchases and eventually have enough points for a free meal. This is great because you're able to save money because once you get enough points, you will get a free meal. And it might take a while, but it's still worth it. And it's another bonus to this is that most restaurants will actually have an app to track your points, so you can track, you can redeem, and you can use points on the app, so it makes it a lot easier. Also, here's a super secret tip. If you have a friend or a family member or even a roommate who made purchases at that restaurant that you have a program with, if they do not have their own rewards program set up, go ahead and take the receipt and get points for their purchase. Okay, tip number 6 is DIY it whenever possible. So, as a college student, there's things you need like a toothbrush holder, a TV stand, a jewelry box, jewelry, things like that you can DIY. DIY whenever reasonably possible. It will save you so much money. For example, this jewelry box I have right here, a couple weeks ago I was in desperate need for a jewelry box, but they range from like $30 to $500, and so I didn't really want to pay that much money. So I DIY'd it and I made this jewelry box and it costed less than $20. So that's a savings between $10 and like $480. So DIY it whenever possible. You will save so much money. I've DIY'd blankets. One time I didn't have money to buy spoons and I even DIY'd paper spoons with hair ties and paper. It will save you a lot of money. So DIY it whenever possible. For you guys, tip number 7 is go crazy with the scholarships. I have found tons of scholarships and I've learned if you go crazy with them, you will find scholarships and it will save you money because it's less money you have to take in student loans and it will make college life a little less stressful. Well, no. It will make college life a lot less stressful if you can get as many scholarships as humanly possible. So, if you're interested in looking for scholarships, try fastweb.com. It's got millions of different scholarships, and also www.nsfp.byu.edu. It is a website that has tons of different databases for millions of different scholarships. So if you're running out of places to look, definitely check that website out. Okay, thank you so much for watching that video. I hope between budgeting, keeping cash, using a file system, keeping your change, using bank CDs, using restaurant programs, DIYing it, and applying for scholarships that you've learned some newer, better ways to help save your money. And if you are one of the judges watching this for the scholarship, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. Have a great day, guys.